Hello, my name is Kavita Melwani, and I'm a Master Certified Success and Business Coach with 2 decades of experience as an entrepreneur and almost a decade as a coach. I want to personally welcome you to the Soulful Entrepreneurs Club podcast, where my vision is to empower as many spiritually led businesses to run purposeful and profitable businesses aligned with their true selves. I want you to confidently and opulently shine your light without the overwhelm, the stress, or the burnout. Together, we will explore challenges that soulful entrepreneurs face and real implementable solutions so you can step into your unique purpose and shine. It is possible to bridge the success you already have with the truest, soulful, mystical parts of yourself. Are you ready to rise up as the leader you were born to be? Then join me, my soulful friends. The time is now for you to rise up and shine your light. The world needs you. So, if you are a regular listener of this podcast, you may notice that the name is a little different, and there's a reason for that. I had to do some introspection and to decide where I want to take this podcast and also my business next. And as I sat with that and took this short break from the podcast, I was able to check in to see how I want to include um, more people and to really talk to who I'm actually serving and who's listening to my podcast. And so I am also really passionate about spiritually minded, spiritually led businesses being successful, because I truly believe that is what we need in the world right now. And so in this podcast, I will be talking about how to be spiritual and successful. And so you can be successful as an entrepreneur, as a leader in what you do, but really that success, we need more success. We need more abundance, more of that, so that we can spread that wealth, spread the abundance, spread the sense of spirituality, and not a specific religion, but more this sense of that we're all connected and everything that we do does impact others and it does matter. And so you'll hear similar topics to what we talked about before, but there may be some expanded topics as well. And so today I'm going to talk about why discomfort is the key to move past stuckness. And so when we're stuck, it's usually because we have too many choices. We can't see any other option besides where we are right now. And oftentimes it's because we know what we need to do and we don't want to do it. So our brain is designed to keep us comfortable. Think about all of the things you do in the day to make yourself comfortable. And if you're empathic person, then you kind of feel your sensations a lot more, right? So then your nervous system is heightened and so you feel the discomfort. And we can often remember that discomfort, and it can prevent us from making the changes that we want to make and that we know we need to make. The willingness to be uncomfortable and work through the cognitive dissonance that happens when we're making changes is the key to getting unstuck and moving past being stuck. So sometimes people will come to me and say, you know what, I know I need to do this. Or they say, I don't know what I want to do. And when I really ask them and we do some coaching together, they have some idea of what their next steps could be. And sometimes they actually know what they need to do and where they want to go next, but they don't want to do it or they don't see how they can do it. And the other thing that can happen is that they see the possibilities, but they're not sure where to go, and they don't want to make a bad decision, what they consider a bad decision, because in the past they made decisions and didn't turn out the way that they thought. So as long as we're scared to experience the discomfort, as long as we're afraid we're going to make the wrong decision, we're just going to stay where we are. We're not going to move forward. The willingness to be uncomfortable is key to help you move forward. So if you're facing a decision and you're feeling stuck right now, ask yourself if you really have a clue of what you want to do. Have you had an insight come? Did you have a conversation with someone and they said something and you got excited and there's a part of you that felt like you wanted to go towards that? The truth is, like, we really, some of us really know where we want to go, and we have this idea and this vision that's completely clear, and most of the time it's just about knowing what the next step is. So are you clear about what your next step can be? And there's a fear of making the wrong decision, and or because if you do make the wrong decision, you could be stuck again or uncomfortable. There is no, well, there's a few wrong decisions, but let's say as long as you're thinking, you're conscious and you're not harming others, harming yourself, right? And you're taking a step, you can always change directions. You can move forward and then see what other opportunity comes and what other doors open, what the next step becomes clear when you take that step. But as long as you're not willing to be uncomfortable, and as long as you're not willing to take that one step that you know is going to be something that you're interested in enough with, or just one step, if you're not willing to take that step, then you're going to stay where you are. And so as you look forward into the year ahead, what is it that you really want to create in your life? What is that vision that you have, right? And now a lot of people ask these questions in the beginning of the year. They ask it in January. I actually love this time of year, the fall, when it starts to, hopefully in some places, starting to get cooler, maybe not so much. It is a time where, I've been conditioned to, that's when school started. And I remember loving going shopping for school supplies, and like the idea of this, like, new school year starting. And because one of the things that I love to do is learn all the time, this I have a positive association with this time of year, and it is a time for me to have like those kind of fresh starts, right? And so it just happens for me where I start to really to go inward and take steps moving forward. And so you're seeing one of those steps now with the podcast name changing, and you're going to see more things that I'm creating, because I knew and I felt this for a while, that I want to go in this direction. But there's fear, right? I don't There's other fears besides making the wrong decision. Like, some other fears that I've come up against is, what if I leave people out? Right? So I know that there's a lot of you that, we've been in my community for a while and that are empaths. And I felt like if I take the word empath out of the name of my podcast, that I'd be leaving you out. And I don't want you to feel like that, right? I don't want to cause that feeling of being left out, because as an empathic person, as an empath, I have experienced being left out. And I still do to this day. People don't always understand what's important to me, why I show up a certain way, how my nervous system can get overwhelmed, right? And so I love to, and there's assumptions of, like, I don't like to socialize, or, introverted people don't know how to talk, like all these things that are just not true, right? And so it can often feel misunderstood. So when I was making this decision to shift this podcast, I felt like I don't want to leave people out. But I had to check in, like, with what is exciting to me. Where is it that I want to go next? And those of you that receive my newsletter know that I sent out a call to vote on the name, right? And so I feel like spiritual and successful actually is inclusive, and I'm able to include a lot of topics that I wasn't able to include before. And that when I went towards that discomfort, and that's tied to the conditioning of being left out myself and not wanting to hurt others, I realized that if I don't go towards what is exciting and fun and what I'm passionate to talk about, then I'm not actually fulfilling my purpose. I'm not taking the steps where I'm guided. And so, what is that for you? I want you to listen to what I shared and apply that to your own situation right now. Is there something that you just no longer feel that passion for, or something that you're really passionate about, but you're afraid what's going to happen if you go towards that? Or are you feeling like it's not practical? I mean, there are a lot of things that can happen, right, as you move towards what you're passionate about. And so, when you are grounded, when you're present with your body, when you're staying conscious and you're allowing the intuition to guide you, and you've done your shadow work, so you're not being guided by your subconscious conditioning, instead that conditioning is brought to your awareness, then you just keep moving forward and creating. So if you're feeling stuck right now, I want you to think about what you may be afraid of doing, because you're afraid of making the wrong decision, you're afraid of hurting others, or you're just not sure which is the right step. Whatever it is, I'm going to encourage you in this season to check intuitively and take one step. Take one step, see what happens, and then take another step and another step. And as you keep moving forward, clarity will come. And I love supporting clients who are in this place, and it's like they're right there, right? So I can help them get to that next level. Um, I mainly work with entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are taking chances, right? Spiritual entrepreneurs are wanting to have businesses that make a difference in the world. It's part of their calling of what they want to create. And there's a deep mission behind that. So if you are in that category, if you're a spiritual entrepreneur and you are looking for support, and what I'm saying resonates, then I'd love to speak to you and see how I can support you. I will have a link in the show notes to book a deep dive business session where we'll dive into where you are in your business. Maybe you still haven't launched it. And so I really love helping people launch their businesses, or if you're feeling stuck in your business. Those are the two areas that I specialize in, and I'd love to speak with you. So go towards the discomfort, even though it's hard. And as one of the things that can help with that is getting yourself used to being uncomfortable, right? It's almost like, think about, one of the things that can help you get used to being uncomfortable is actually physical exercise, right? One of the things that I've taken up that I used to do a long time ago, and then I kind of dabbled in it, is I started lifting weights again. And when I'm lifting the weights, it's really uncomfortable, right? And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this, right? But then I tell myself, actually, I can do this, right? And so that feeling of doing that physically is helping me get used to being uncomfortable. And so I can continue to move forward and know that I can handle it and trust that I can handle it. So I would love to hear from you as well. If you have some topics that you want me to talk about on this podcast, you can contact me via my website. And I look forward to continuing to connect with you and share with you topics that will help you move forward and shine your light. Until next time, take good care. Bye.